This is Money Made Simple, the financial podcast that keeps it simple and gets to the point.
Kia ora and welcome back to Money Made Simple, brought to you by Simplicity. So today, Jenny, hi,
Yes,
sorry.
hello. Oh God, rude.
Just
Hi.
jumping straight into it. Today we thought we would get a little bit community focused for this episode. So just a caveat that we should probably say every time is we are not always the experts, right?
I would say never the experts, but here to share what we do know.
Yes, we've got a financial hot mess and a failing property investor, but anyway.
We do our best.
Exactly.
But we know that there are other very smart and knowledgeable people out there.
Yeah, we all have really different experiences, knowledge, things that have worked and not worked for us. So we thought that we would reach out to the community via our socials and ask you guys for your best financial tips.
And you didn't disappoint.
No, we got many back. We had financial hacks, we had tricks that have helped you level up in life, so many answers from budgeting to investing.
KiwiSaver.
Yeah, and heaps more.
Cool. Well, should we just get straight into it and run through what we've chosen as our top tips?
Favourites. Yeah, see how many we can get through.
Okay.
So, number one, and I put this up the top because I thought it's such a classic, is start young or start early and invest often.
Yes, and start small. Don't wait to start.
Yes.
Whatever you've got.
And I guess caveat to that is it doesn't matter if you're not young anymore, right?
Yeah, I saw that one, start young, and I was like, oh no. And when we say start, we mean start investing, start saving. It doesn't matter where you're at, what age you are, actually, that you should just start where you are. The younger, the better. So if you have young people in your family and you want to give them a bit of a head start, then this is the conversation to have.
Yes. Really liked one of the quotes that said it should be like watching paint dry. And I think that was pertaining to just starting small and keeping going.
Yeah, there's very rarely instant gratification with investing. It is something that grows slowly over time. It will compound and, you get that snowball effect in the long term. But yeah, it is kind of a boring thing to do.
But do it.
But do it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So start would be...
And don't wait until you have more to invest. I think that's a classic mistake that a lot of people make. Next one, I think I took it as being around budgeting, and that was know where your money goes. And another one that was kind of similar was have regular checks of your actual expenditure, for example, weekly, to keep it front of mind.
There'd be a lot of people that just put their head in the sand about the money that's coming in and going out. Are you pointing at me?
Yes. Used to be.
I'm still not that great. So really knowing exactly what's my income, what are my expenses, what's the difference, being really aware of that.
Yeah, and that will help you potentially unearth areas where you could save and invest more, or you don't need to spend in a certain place.
Or if your expenses are actually higher than your income, then you're like, okay, well, what changes can I make to switch that? Yeah. So that's funny. You read that know where your money goes as think about your sort of expenditure. For me, I read that as know where your money goes from more of an ethical perspective. Right. So I don't know what our listener meant by that. But for me, it was being really conscious of how you invest your money. So being with a provider that aligns with your kind of personal values if you're investing or through your KiwiSaver, but also knowing where your money goes on a more day-to-day basis. So spending local, shopping ethically, that kind of thing. That's how I read that one.
Which is interesting, right? Like I just took it like at really face value, like logically know where your money is going, like which account it's going into and out of, and you're really deep.
Oh, I know, I'm so deep. I just thought about what impact does my money have? Where is my money going? What is it doing? So and either way is good.
Yes, and if you do care and you don't know, feel free to ask your investment provider. They should be able to tell you and you can understand
exactly where your money is invested.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're going to be deep.
If that's what they meant.
Yeah. Next one was an interestingly worded one. It said, don't risk gambling in single shares. Invest into managed funds, which we love, with a robust portfolio. I'm not sure that investing in single shares are necessarily what constitutes gambling, but I get what the meaning behind that is that you're kind of playing the market and deciding what's going to go well and what's not versus the broader market representation.
Yeah.
I'm very much into index fund investing, 100%. According to the research, the SPIVA studies, it's really hard to beat the market actively investing.
Over the long term?
Yes, but I think it's okay to potentially have a small proportion that you have fun with shares.
Yeah, I know that we talk about it in the office a bit, that you should have your main investment, so whether that's KiwiSaver or other investments that are in a managed fund, but then it is worth having, I think Ian calls it a sidecar investment. The important thing is with that money is that you should be okay with losing it.
Yes.
So if you've put one egg in one basket and that investment goes wrong and you lose it, you don't have to worry because 90% of your savings are still in the managed fund. It's a really good way to learn about investing, I think, investing in single shares, exploring that, but definitely not the way to invest all of your savings. Yeah.
You mentioned putting all the eggs in one basket. That segues in a lovely way to the next one, which is diversify. So I think diversified managed funds are often a great way to do that, tick. But there's other asset classes that you can invest in separately. Property, gold, an interesting topic at the moment, bonds, income assets, term deposits, all that kind of thing. So yes, diversification is good.
Because what that means is it doesn't matter if one asset class or one company performs badly across all your diversified investments, it's going to balance out over time.
Yeah. Next, I thought this was kind of good as a general rule. Never buy anything full price. There was another one that was kind of related to that, which was shop around, lots to be saved on phone plans, internet, power, etc.
Yeah, I think that's a great bit of advice. And it was a conversation you had with Sabby J with Bougie on a Budget and ways to save money. I think it's important that you differentiate between needs and wants on this one, because sometimes if you need something, you may need to buy it. Wants, absolutely. If you can afford to wait for something to go on sale or find a coupon or some kind of discount code, then that's absolutely worth doing.
Yeah, and there's a lot of categories out there, right? Like furniture, whiteware, homeware, phone plans, internet power that do go on sale.
Yeah, and it can be time consuming. It is something you have to put a bit of effort into, but it's a way that you can save. When you're talking about some of those big purchases, like quite significant amounts of money, if you're prepared to do the work or be patient.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Coming back to markets and investments, this was another one that we interpreted differently. Don't pay attention to market noise. And yes, it's probably coming. So I took this market noise as volatility and agree, don't pay attention to it. But you took it slightly differently, right?
I took it more literally as kind of the noise around markets. We often react to the news and the newspaper headlines and the stuff we're hearing on the radio or seeing on TV.
Which is all designed to be dramatic, right? It's clickbait.
Absolutely. So they're going to be wanting to get your attention. What's going on in the market gets almost exacerbated by the noise that is made by commentators in the media. And as we said in a recent podcast about volatility, that's just a natural part of
markets.
Yeah.
Cool. Another person said never sell. And I'm going to take it that they meant don't sell as in panic sell when the markets drop. Because
as in never cash in your investments
ever. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have meant never cash in your investments when you need them and start to use them in later life. But don't sell because of emotional reactions, I think.
Hold your investments as long as you can.
Yep. Consistency came through quite a few times. So being regular, setting and forgetting. That's one of my favourites. And also dollar cost averaging, which I think is probably quite related to that consistency and being regular.
Yeah, so should we explain what dollar cost averaging is?
Yes.
Or shall I try? So dollar cost averaging is the idea that if you are investing on a schedule or regularly, that you are going to be buying your investments when the market is up and when it's down. So when the market is down, your dollar is going to be buying you more units in a fund or more shares. And when the market is up, you'll be paying more for your investments. But your balance will be higher.
Okay. So you can win either way. You can buy them on sale, or you can have the lovely feeling of your balance going up and buying them more expensive.
But over time, it will average out, right?
So it averages the dollar cost.
Yes. Okay. And we often suggest that people do this on the way out of their investments too. So rather than trying to time the market perfectly when you withdraw your money and you want to make sure that they're at their best value, you just withdraw slowly over time, and then you'll get the benefits of dollar cost averaging on the way out as well.
Love it. This next one is for you homeowners out there. Pay extra on your home loan. Now, obviously, this is one that many people don't have the luxury of doing, especially in quite a cost of living crunch at the moment.
Yeah.
But I think that there is worth in it in terms of you are reducing the impacts of compounding debt. And so a lot of the banks and Sorted have these calculators on how quickly you can pay down your home loan, and you can put numbers in there that show you if you put a lump sum or higher repayments, how much that will reduce the length of your total loan. Yes. And so if you have the ability to, then I think it can be a really good way to reduce the life of your home loan.
Yeah, because basically the faster you pay it off, the less you will pay in interest in the long run.
Yeah.
And it might be for a lot of people who are refixing their interest rates at the moment, and they may be lower than what they've been paying for the last couple of years. Maybe you can just keep the dollar value of the repayments at the same level.
At that higher level.
If you can afford to do that, and then you will be effectively paying it
faster. Yeah,
because
if you've made it work over the last year or 2 years, whatever your
you can keep making it work.
Yeah, exactly. Increase your KiwiSaver contribution rate if you get a pay rise was an interesting one. You weren't sure about this one, right?
I think that's a little bit about lifestyle creep. We all know that for most of us, as our pay goes up, often our expenses just increase, so we don't necessarily have more to save or invest.
We get bougier.
Yeah. With KiwiSaver, I think, yes, increase your contribution rate if there is a benefit to increasing your contribution rate.
So say going from 3 to 3.5 to 4 or 4.5.
Yeah, so quite a few employers in New Zealand will match you at a higher rate, which is amazing. If that happens, definitely do. Otherwise, you might want to consider, because that money's locked up till you buy a house or you retire, you might want to consider putting that extra money into a separate investment account. It could be exactly the same, a mirror fund, but it's got more flexibility. Like you can actually use that money for in the shorter term if
or
you
medium
wanted.
term goals.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be the same as your KiwiSaver account, right? You could, again, diversify more like we talked about in diversifying.
The world is your oyster.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And as you get a pay rise, your KiwiSaver contributions, not your contribution rate, is naturally going to go up anyway.
That's so true. And same with your employer contribution, because it's going to be 3.5% of a higher income.
Yeah. Next one is don't call it a savings account. Instead, call it an emergency account, which has 6 months of your pay. I think there's some golden nuggets in there. It's an interesting way of putting it.
Yeah, so one is have a rainy day or an emergency fund.
Yes. Definitely
That's a really good thing to do, have put money aside so that when an emergency happens, you don't have to get into debt to fund that problem. But I think the other thing for me is that, because I'm not awesome with money, if I am looking at a savings account named that, I'm like, oh, what else could I spend that money on? But if you
saving means spending.
Yeah, a little bit. So if you actually name it an emergency account or a rainy day fund, whatever you want, there's some kind of psychological thing going on there where you know that money has been accounted for. It's not for a holiday or...
I think the really good core of that in general is have an emergency or rainy day fund. And 6 months can be a great thing to work towards. But if you don't have 6 months in a savings account that you can call an emergency fund, work towards it.
I was going to say 6 months of pay is a lot.
Yeah.
And that is a really worthy goal to work towards. But if you start with, I want to have $500 in my rainy day fund, great. That's a great place to start.
And then level up from there. Yep.
Build from there.
Cool.
Yeah.
I really like this because it's really about how we are, and what we're about is educate yourself. So knowledge is power. There are so many, and we mention them often in a podcast, different resources out there that can put it in plain English and really help you understand finances, investing, all of that.
Yeah, I think we're kind of in the golden age of financial literacy and information. There's so many good other fantastic podcasts to listen to, and websites and people you can follow on Instagram and Facebook that are sharing their stories and their knowledge and their learning. I think everyone can find someone that can teach them something that they kind of relate to. So
yeah, a couple of so we had a few different resources pointed out to us. So just listing a couple of them. There was Mr. Money Moustache, Francis Cook, Money King, Sorted, Money Hub, Money Made Simple.
Obviously,
yeah. There are loads out there, and so, yeah, level up.
Cool. Another one that came through, which I really relate to, is make time for fun. You have to enjoy your lived day-to-day experiences. I get that because we're always talking about the kind of long-term savings and long-term goals.
And investing.
It's really important that you also budget for that fun so that you don't have to feel guilty about it. There's a real danger in not enjoying the life that you're living because you're fully focused on your retirement or something.
Yeah, so fold it into your plan.
Yeah.
Finally, another one is for the parents out there. This person said, parents with kids in daycare, apply for the family boost. It's free money for little effort.
Yeah, daycare is expensive, so any help you can get with that's a really great tip, even if it takes a little bit of effort to apply. And I also think it's worth mentioning that there are other benefits out there, and I don't just mean financial benefits. I mean that there's support and financial help that people can sometimes access. If you're eligible for that, it's worth seeing what's out there.
Yeah.
Making sure you're getting the help that you can get.
Yeah, and if you're struggling, which so many people are at the moment, there's free financial mentors out there. You can get financial advice, but yeah, go talk to someone, and someone else might be able to help you understand.
Access some of that, some of that support.
Exactly. Cool. So that was our favourites that came through. There were many more, so thank you to everyone that sent through. But I just wanted to move on quickly to our personal favourite tips.
Okay, hit me with yours.
Yeah, so mine is automate, and this was kind of mentioned in terms of dollar cost averaging and whatnot, but I love investing into index funds, and I have my bank set up to invest automatically into the fund that I've chosen. Mine's a global share fund, every week, but that could be every fortnight or every month, depending on when you get paid or how it works for you. But just automate it so you don't have to think about investing.
Yeah, I like that one a lot too, because I am a forgetful person with a lot going on, and it's really easy to think, yes, I'll get to that or I'll remember to do it. But if you've automated it, then you literally don't have to worry about it.
Yes. What's your
favourite?
You have to have a different favourite though.
My favourite would be, you don't have to be an expert to invest or to make good financial decisions. Like, you don't have to be a finance bro or have a commerce or financial degree. Like you said, there's lots of great information out there so that we can inform ourselves. But the really important thing is to just start and learn as you go. But don't wait for the perfect conditions and for you to be able to understand every little thing. Everyone should be investing for their future.
Absolutely agree. Cool. So there you have it. Our top, I don't know how many tips from our community and of course ourselves. Can't help ourselves, right? But if you're listening or watching and you heard your tip come up, please feel free to message us, whether that be via the Gram or Facebook or Spotify or YouTube, and let us know. We'll be happy to send you a couple of Simplicity goodies for the privilege. So appreciate your input.
Great idea. We hope there's been some useful tips in there in terms of thinking about your own finances or just leveling up. Maybe you're on a journey like we are and you're ready to take the next step. But yeah, keep them coming. We'll do another episode like this in the future if people want to share.
Yeah, tell us anywhere that we've forgotten.
Yeah.
Might give us good food for thought. Please, if you enjoyed this, rate, review, subscribe on whatever platform you're on. It helps us keep spreading the word even more.
Thanks for listening.
This podcast contains personal opinions and is intended to provide educational information only. It doesn't relate to your particular financial situation or goals and is not financial advice or recommendations. Simplicity New Zealand Limited is the issuer of the Simplicity KiwiSaver scheme and investment funds. For product disclosure statements, please visit Simplicity's website, simplicity.kiwi.